Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Miss Peanut and we're going to do kind of an informative vlog today. So I do want to start off, if you're uncomfortable with the talk about periods or menstrual cups, just skip over this video because it's literally all I'm talking about. So I got a lot of questions on Facebook about menstrual cups and what they're, what's the deal with them and want to talk about them. So I have my phone out and I have like a zillion questions I'm going to try to cover. So I'm just going to start at the top of the questions, work my way down to the bottom, talk about my experiences with them, give a little data, boring stuff. But I really wanted to do this video because DIVA cups and menstrual cups in general just totally changed my cycle and my life. So I know that sounds a little dramatic, but they really did, and I really want to talk about this. Okay, the first question is different sizes, different brands. How do you know if it fits right? When do you change it? How do you change it? Okay, there are a ton of different brands, like tons. I have 3, and I will put the links and descriptions of all of mine down in the description box. So I have 3 different ones. I brought 2 to kind of just show the differences because they're 2, I don't want to say lesser known brands, but DIVA Cup is like the most well known. And I have that one, but I wanted to talk about 2 lesser known brands in particular. Different sizes. Usually they're categorized as post-childbirth and pre-childbirth. And it's really based off of your cervix. And it's off of a vaginal birth, not like a cesarean or anything. So it just, your cervix doesn't completely go back closed the same way as before you were pregnant. So that's really the main differences for the 2 different sizes when it comes to menstrual cups. And then I have a Scoon and then I have a Lena cup. And I've trimmed the stems off of both of these because they annoy me. And you can also flip them inside out. So I'll flip one of them inside out so you can just see. So it kind of changes the shape a little bit. Some people have better success flipping a cup inside out because they can feel the ridges on the cup. They can feel that, so they're uncomfortable, so they just flip it inside out. However works for you, works for you. And how you know if it fits right? Basically, if you can't feel it. that's the big thing. You shouldn't be able to feel your menstrual cup at all. I don't feel them, after I stand up and I'm ready to go. You can forget that they're there pretty much. Another thing is how you take them out, obviously. So I want to start off with how you put them in. So I have my 2 different cups. This one's a little bit bigger, so this one might be a little bit easier for me to show you. But you're going to take it and you're going to flatten it, and then you fold it together so it looks like a taco. See? A little taco for your taco. Sorry, that was seriously one of the worst jokes I've ever come up with, but it made me laugh, so I had to do it. So, and then you kind of just, this is going to be real graphic. Well, not real graphic, but it's going to be fun. So, this is going to be your vaginal opening. Nice and big. So, you're just going to slide that in there, and it's going to suction and open around your cervix. And the way that I kind of get it to make sure it's totally suctioned around is I'll take it and I'll spin the cup a little bit just to make sure it's totally opened, it's totally around my cervix and all of that good stuff, because if it's not suctioned right, it can leak. And another way that problems with leaking is your cup's just too full, or it's just not a right fit for you for that particular brand, so you just gotta try another one. Also, I want to point out there are little holes at the tops of the cups, and that's to help suction. So now that we are talking about, now that's in there and you're ready to change your cup, you're going to pretty much, some will have the stem, you can pull the stem. The stem bothers me, so I've cut mine off. I just kind of pinch it. I'll break the seal just a little bit, just break the seal, and then I can just slide it out. Another thing, I got a question about like menstrual cups and IUDs. Everything that I have read says that they do not and they should not interfere with that. So you should feel very comfortable using them. It shouldn't affect it. However, the suction can mess it up. So they definitely recommend breaking the seal and then pulling the cup out, so you're not having that suction to mess up or interfere anything. So it shouldn't do anything, but just to be safe, break the seal before and then, you know, take it out. Alright, next question. Oh, my phone's all messed up. So it was talking about what factors into picking the right style, right brand for you. You really have to be aware of how your cervix sits, and the only way to do that is to stick your fingers up your hoo-ha. Make sure your hands are clean, obviously, but just take a little bit to poke around in there and see if your cervix sits low or if it sits high, depending on how you are in your cycle. Just be aware of it. Since we've been trying to conceive for 3 years, I am hyper aware of everything that goes down, like everything. So cervix location is never an issue for me personally. I always know how my cervix sits in my cycle. That's just me. So these 2 cups work really well for low cervixes. This one in particular, it's a little bit wider. This one's a little smaller, but they work great for people who have low cervixes like me. Okay. Let's see the next little bit. Prevent from leaking, I already said. Just make sure you're changing it regularly. You should only really have to change your cup once every 12 hours. It's like the recommended. It really depends on how heavy your cycle is. My cycle very much ranges. Usually I'm very, very heavy, so I kind of have to be a little bit more vigilant. Usually I'll take the cup out every couple hours or so. Not because it has to come out every couple hours, but because I just want to make sure that I don't accidentally overfill it and whatnot. So that is that. Oh, they say that you can have sex with the cup. That is only for soft cups. Those are the disposable ones. But I mean, if you're going for using a menstrual cup, having a disposable one kind of defeats the purpose. And for me, they were very uncomfortable, so I don't have really any experience with them. I used them twice and I was just like, this is uncomfortable, I don't like this leaks too much. It did not work for me, so that's just my experience. But I do have a couple friends who use them and totally love them, and hey, more power to you as long as you're finding one that works for you. Okay, the next question was like the biggest one, is how do you change it when you're out in public? Basically, you're going to take it out and then very carefully pour. Don't dump anything because it'll splatter, and I don't think anyone wants to deal with that. But you don't have to waddle out, wash it in the sink with everybody staring at you and all of that jazz. You can just insert it, or if, ooh, sorry, my phone is buzzing. Just wipe it off with some soft tissue, like some toilet paper or stuff. Make sure you don't have any lint or fuzzies on there, and then you can reinsert it. I know a couple of friends will take water bottles in there with them just so they can rinse it out, because that's what makes them feel more comfortable. There are like on-the-go menstrual cup wipes. I haven't tried them personally because I haven't had a need for them, but they do sell those too. I don't know who sells them exactly, but that is another way you can take them out on the go. Like I said, you should be able to leave them in for 12 hours without having to change them, which is totally awesome. So let's go on to the next question. My friend said, I'm horrified I won't be able to get it out, so if you can address that. My main reason I haven't tried one yet. So I will be very honest, you cannot lose this inside of you. Your menstrual cup is not going to be forever sucked up inside of you, and you're not going to lose it. But they can get a little high up there, which is why the companies will have the stems on them, but my cervix is very low, so I have no issues. The best way to get it out is just relax yourself. You have to, you know, relax yourself, relax your muscles. Just take a deep breath, and then you're just going to slide it out. Again, if you're having problems with the suction on it, break the suction a little bit and then slide it out. So kind of pinch and then slide, and it'll come right out. I pinky promise you are not going to lose this inside of you, as terrifying as it may seem. Once you get a couple days into your cycle and a couple days of using it, you'll be a champ, and it won't be as terrifying. Okay, how do you change it at public or work? I already really talked about that. You shouldn't have to. You can usually leave them in for up to 12 hours without any problems, but just discreetly take it out, dump it in the toilet, dry it off, reinsert it. You're good to go. Another thing was messiness. Really, you shouldn't get any blood like all over you. It's not like, I've never had it happen where I've had like blood everywhere. I've never ever had that happen. Like I may get a little bit on like my fingers or whatever, but it's just wipe it off. Honestly, it's not that horrible. I pinky promise. You'll get so used to it, and the fact that I've had a Diva Cup for 3 years, I want to say, about 3 years, it doesn't faze me anymore. And I've had so many weird things happen with like trying to conceive and doing infertility stuff that like it don't faze me anymore. Comfort level, and it's super prone to leaks. As I mentioned again, I never ever feel them. They are so much more comfortable than a tampon or a pad have ever been, ever. Another thing, like I'm sure this has happened to everybody that has a period at least once in their life. They'll take the tampon out before it's ready to take out, and it hurts. I have never experienced that with a cup, and it's so awesome because I can take it out whenever, and it's not like having a sandpaper. And then again, it's more comfortable for me than pads, because pads have never ever been comfortable for me, ever. Okay, next question. I have a trillion questions. What if my cuppeth overfloweth? What if it flips upside down and just dumps out? Is it practical for people with PCOS and heavy periods? And how many cups do I need to reasonably get by? Alright, first question. Just change it regularly. You know how your cycle is. You know how heavy your periods are. So if your periods are a little heavier, change it a little bit more often. Most people can get by with that 12-hour window. Most people with not a heavy cycle. I have a very, very, very heavy cycle, and I clot and I cramp a lot, so I have to be a little bit more vigilant, because if I don't, my cup will overflow, and that's how leaks happen for me personally. You really have to be on top of that. Next one, your cup will not flip upside down and leak everywhere. It won't happen. It's suctioned around your cervix, so you don't have to worry about that. Another thing, you're not going to lose inside of you, and it's not going to flip upside down when you're walking. I've done cartwheels, I've gone swimming, I have done all sorts of crazy things. I've gone in airplanes, I've traveled cross country, never had a problem. So, is it practical for people with PCOS and heavy periods? I have PCOS and I have heavy periods, and this is the best thing. Seriously, like, this has completely changed everything. I used to have to keep stockpiles of tampons and pads, and I don't have to do that anymore. It saves me so much money, and it saves me so much stress, like so much stress, that I have my cups, I'm ready. There's no fear of being in public and being on your period and going, oh crap, I don't have an extra tampon and I really need a tampon right now. That's awesome. That alone was like, just totally changed everything, because I've been out in public and had to ask the person in the next stall, hi, do you have a tampon? We just met. And it's not fun, but props to every woman who has saved me in the past. Y'all the real MVP. And how many cups do you need to reasonably get by? Like I said, I have 3 different cups, mainly because I just wanted to try some new ones. I was very comfortable with my Diva Cup. I've had no issues with it whatsoever, but I did want to branch out and try some different ones. As you can tell, these are both differently shaped, and their size varies just a little bit. This is the Scoon, and it's made in America. and it's kind of a bell shape. And then this is my Lena cup, and it's like a tulip kind of shape. This one was less expensive, this one's a little bit more expensive. I got them both on Amazon and I love them. I actually like my Lena cup a little bit more because it's bigger and it holds a little bit more. But I do love both. I'll use this on my heavier days, and I'll use this as my period's kind of tapering off because it doesn't need to hold as much. So I definitely like both of those. You should really only need one cup to get by. Just depends on what cup fits you best. That's really the only #1 big reason, I would say, is just figuring out what kind of cup works for you. Alright, how do you take it out without spilling it everywhere? Just be careful. I know that's a really stupid answer and it kind of sounds super blunt, but honestly, that's it. Just be careful. Don't dump it out. Just be careful with how you're pouring everything out. Where do you keep it when you're not using it? Both Skoon and Lena sent little like cotton pouches that you can store them in when you're not using them. I left them in the bathroom because I suck. I'm sorry. But they're super cute and they just stick in there in their little drawstring, and my phone keeps buzzing, but no one's gonna know the wiser unless you have people who poke through your bathroom and open up things. Which, if they do and they're weirded out by it, that's their own problem, not yours. And you also should look for better friends. Price range and other disposable ones. Price range is usually between $20 to $40 depending on what brand you're using. I think this one was like $30, $32, and this one was like $23, I want to say. I'm not 100% on those. But that is them. Also, I know that I just like put these near my face. They have been sanitized, just letting everybody know, so they're not freaked out by the fact that I'm holding these in my hand. They have been cleaned plenty of times. I've sanitized them, and I will go through all of my sanitizing stuff at the end of the video. Just want to say. There are disposable ones again. Soft cup, I think instead maybe the brand name for it, but I don't like them. They're uncomfortable for me. I do not use them. Okay. Do they irritate you when you walk? Nope. Not one bit. I do not feel these things inside of me, which is A+. Okay. Is there any more? I just want to know how you keep it from spilling when you take it out. Again, just be very careful. Be mindful of how everything is situated. Like if there's a wide bowl in the toilet, like just, you know. You'll figure it out as you go. I know that sounds silly, but like you'll be able to figure out how easily things come out and how to relax your muscles a little bit. All of that good stuff. Okay. I'm super grossed out with the blood and touching it in the sanitation. All of that kind of stuff. Okay. Wash your hands before you use them. Obviously, you're going to be up in your nether regions. You want to make sure everything is clean. So, wash your hands before and after, of course. And then, just to be careful, you will get the hang of it. I spilled maybe a couple times just as I was getting used to, like, how to insert and take them out and stuff. But it's really, I know if you're very, very squeamish around blood, this might not be a good idea. Like, but I am 100% not squeamish whatsoever, and I'm so hyper aware of everything that happens in my body that I'm like, I think this is super cool, but I'm very weird like that. Okay, so I already talked about IUDs and stuff, and I also wanted to talk a little bit about like the benefits other than just my own personal benefits. There have been 0 cases of toxic shock syndrome linked to a Diva cup or a menstrual cup, which is awesome because I've had a few friends who have had toxic shock syndrome due to using tampons. So that was like terrifying. In college I had a friend that had that happen and I was like, that's scary. So there are no cases of toxic shock syndrome associated with menstrual cups, and I'll put a source for that just to be safe. Aside from just the risk of that, cotton is the most sprayed like product for like crops in the world. It's the most heavily sprayed. So you're kind of putting pesticides and all of that stuff up your hoo-ha. Not very good. I know some people they don't care about that kind of stuff, but for me that was a huge issue, and I wanted to eliminate as many problems that could potentially go wrong with trying to conceive, that I eliminated every weird thing. So that was a huge thing for me, is I wanted to make sure that I was being as healthy as I possibly could within that kind of stuff, keeping my uterus and my reproductive organs as healthy as I could keep them. And since I already have PCOS, kind of like one foot in the grave on that one. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. I have like a list of stuff that I wrote down, so it's kind of be a little awkward and choppy right now, so I apologize in advance. Tampons actually dry out your vagina, which is not good. You want to make sure everything's all nice and flowing in there. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about the good things about menstrual cups. Is you're going to save a ton of money, because you don't have to constantly be buying pads and tampons and all that good stuff. You buy it once and they should last. I've had mine the whole the past 3 years. I've never had to change them up or anything unless I wanted to. It makes traveling so easy. Oh my gosh, you don't have to worry about packing a bunch of pads and tampons. That's awesome. So great. So awesome to not have to worry about that kind of stuff. Grocery shopping is a blast, because you don't have to be awkwardly putting your tampons in your basket and oh gosh, I really hope I don't get the cute checker at the checkout tonight. Oh gosh, I don't want him to know I have a period. Anyway, no more tampons in your purse. Awesome. I mean, it sucks for people who still use tampons and they're like, hey, do you have a tampon? You'd be like, no, I don't use those, sorry. But you'll never be caught in public going, oh crap, I need another tampon, I don't have any. So that's super cool. So I do want to take a little bit of time to talk about the cleaning and sanitation and all of that stuff. Before I use mine and after I use them, I will boil them in just hot water on the stove for a couple minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes, just to, clean them off. You don't want to use any oil-based products when you're cleaning these. Any kind of feminine pH balancing wash will be really good to use with them. I know Diva Cup has their own wash that they specifically use, and that's okay for actually cleaning you and cleaning the cup. So I already talked about the little holes at the top and that they're used for making sure that the suction's good. And then I do want to talk about discoloration, because it can happen. I haven't had them happen with either of these cups yet, but it's bound to happen. If it bothers you, you can always buy a new one, but it doesn't change the effectiveness and it doesn't make it any less clean. It's just kind of like a cosmetic thing. But it does happen for any of the clear cups. You can have, it can kind of, the blood will change it to make it a little brown, and it's a personal thing. If you're really creeped out by that, get a new cup and you don't have to worry about that. Let's see, is that everybody's questions, I think? Okay, talked about, yep, I think that's all the questions that I had, and I just wanted to chat with my own personal stuff. My very good friend Taryn asked me to, give it a go, because I was like, oh, I don't know about that, that's a little weird, because she used one for a while before I even met her, I think. I think she started using hers in high school, and I was like, I don't know, it's a little scary. It's a little scary. And I bought one and I was like, holy crap, why didn't I try this sooner? Why didn't you convince me sooner? But I love them. It has completely changed everything. I have super heavy periods. Super heavy periods. And this just makes it so much easier. I'm not going through pads and tampons like nobody's business. It's just so great. And it actually helps my cramps a lot too, because instead of a tampon that's just absorbing and letting your body reabsorb blood, and it's not letting the blood clots pass through. I know this is not a video for squeamish people, but sorry. The menstrual cups will collect the blood rather than letting it be absorbed back into your body, which is just awesome. But I know this has been a long video. I did not expect to sit down and talk about period cups for this long. But this is something that's super, super important to me, and they have just, I wish that I would have had someone to like listen to and listen to their own stories other than Taryn. Taryn was amazing, answered every single question that I possibly could have had, and she was wonderful. But I do want to help out anybody who is just a little worried and kind of curious about them. If you have any other questions that I didn't cover, please just leave them in the comments, or you can find me on Facebook. I will answer any of those questions. Seriously, any question that you could possibly think of that I just didn't cover and I didn't think to cover, please let me know, because I want everybody to feel confident with this kind of a product. And if you're grossed out by it, you're grossed out by it. That's whatever. I'm not. You do you. Whatever works for you and your uterus, make it happen. As long as you're not free bleeding all over me, I don't really care. But I just wanted to break this stigma on them, because they're not gross, they're not unsanitary, they help a lot of people, and they're just super cool beans, guys. Super cool beans. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here because I feel like I'm rambling now. But if you like this video, be sure to like and comment. Again, if you have any questions, comment please. I want to answer them. I have no problems with it. If you like this video, do all that jazz. If you want to see more videos like this, well, probably not like this particular, but you get the gist. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!